God, that's such a great surprise. I'm
I
like
had to
so
wear my hat.
shocked. I'm like so in shock right now.
I
This
had
is like
to
the
wear
best
my
surprise
hat.
ever.
I'm wearing my hair up, and I just
Same
come
thing
back.
here. The heat, yes.
Is it hot in Texas?
This is great.
Wow.
Oh, this is great. It's gonna be a really great live. Okay, so
Oh,
happy.
yes.
Is it
Good
hot
to
in
see you, ladies.
Edmund?
Huh?
Oh, good to
What's
see
the
you.
weather like in Texas? Is it hot?
It's hot.
Oh, another
It
one.
is.
Oh,
It is very hot here. I am sweating like you would not believe it.
you're sweating bullets.
Yeah.
I can imagine, yes. Are you not in the same weather sort of line with Aspen?
I got my hot water bottle on my neck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's winter in Australia.
And
Okay.
it's been a cold one as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Send the cold weather over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
same thing here.
ladies. Good to see you. Welcome to Francis Page Media.
Thank you.
Yes, it is wonderful having our new guests. Well, one is newer.
Yes.
But
I'm still in shock right now.
yeah. Now it's like me and Catherine are now hosting the show. So
Yeah.
I know of your game. We see you, Francis. You surround yourself with beautiful
very
women.
soon. Right. Catherine, you have been traveling. We were meant to have this live last night, but you have been to is it Canberra?
Canberra, yeah.
Please
Yeah.
talk us through your experience in Canberra. How was it?
Well, I have my granddaughter works in cybersecurity for the Department of Defense in our federal government. And she's doing really well. She travels, frequently interstate, but also to Canada, a variety of overseas locations. But so she was my reason for visiting. But I like Canberra. Now, there's aspects of it I don't enjoy, but it's the seat of government, Canberra. It's our capital. And there are two parliament houses down there. There's the old one, which is really beautiful. It's small, which is the reason they had to build a second one, because our government is as big as America's government. It just, government doesn't get any smaller, does it? So we had to build a second building, or we chose to build a second building. And the second building is, oh, so modern, darling. Whereas the old one is just this beautiful, historical, the kind of thing you'd find in England, because our government, our constitution is basically the same. It's identical to the
Now,
British
Catherine,
constitution.
Catherine, 1 minute. I'm wondering whose background noise is that? Is it? I don't know. Is it?
I'll check mine. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
I'm gonna go get my headphones so I can hear y'all good.
Okay. All right.
I
We'll
don't
pause
think
it
it's
until.
mine.
Is it yours, Aspi?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Okay.
Is it me?
I've turned it off. Was it me?
Was it you? Yeah. So let's see if it's
I can still hear it.
Stead Money here. Steadman, is it your background noise there?
Hello?
Hello. I think that's much
No,
better.
I don't have
It
nothing.
is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
much
don't have
better.
nothing back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's much better.
That's
So I'll
much
go back onto
better.
my headphones
Yes.
now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I thought
Hold
it was
on.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're good. So can we hear each other clearly now?
I can't hear
Yeah, I
anything
hear
now.
I hear everything.
Okay. Right.
Hey,
Are you okay
Catherine,
now, Catherine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Sorry to stop you there, Catherine.
here's
oh
CI.
no,
Yeah.
I'm going to do a post about this, because what was exciting was Oh, look, it reminded me how much the British monarchy and royalty is in our Australian DNA. It doesn't matter how much they try to erase it, because when the Queen died, they refused to replace her image on our money with kings. And I don't care who the monarch is, I don't care if he has two heads, you just continue that tradition, you know.
Mm.
But when I was growing up, we had everywhere in the schools, shopping malls, libraries, every public place had a large portrait of the
Of the
Queen, right?
Queen, yes.
Yep.
Mm.
So, and our coat of arms is actually nice enough. It's got a kangaroo and a emu, and you know, but that was always beside a portrait of the monarch. I'll say the
Mm.
monarch, okay? But they had an exhibition in the gallery, and unusually, it was quite balanced because they're always seeking in Australia, and we have a very Republican minded government in power at the moment. They're always seeking to erase our history, right? And they do it by elevating the Aboriginal story at the expense of the early settlers, not the later migrants through the assisted passage scheme through it, but it was a very balanced exhibition. It was called Treasured Things. And there's one of my, they didn't have the painting there, but they had this curio box with a lot of old vintage photos of the opening of Parliament. And
Mm.
because it was rather small and the crowds were huge, they held it in Victoria in a huge building there. It was was lit up with thousands, like about 10,000 lights, and it
Mm.
reflected on the water and the river out. It's absolutely magnificent.
Mm.
And the royal that opened it was the Duke of Cornwall and York. So he
Mm.
had two
Mm.
titles, and he
Mm.
later went on to become
The
George V,
mm.
and his wife was a consort, much like what we've got now. But the crowds were immense.
Mm.
Mm.
That's why they had to take the opening of the Parliament, which is in Canberra. They had
Mm.
to take it to Victoria, which is the next state. You know,
Mm.
Canberra's not that big, but I got to tell you, I was so inspired by our history. It doesn't matter what they do, they can't erase
The
it.
Mm.
monarchy.
They
Yeah, they
cannot
cannot.
erase it.
Yeah.
It is in, it's like Stedman is, she's got that fabulous Texan accent, you know. You can't erase it. It doesn't matter
No, you
where
can't.
you go in the world, you know.
Yeah.
You can hear Aspie's accent, you know, it's very
Oh,
unique to,
it's
it's
pretty
so
obvious.
gorgeous, you know. And I don't care what the Republican movement tries to do here. They're always saying, you know, oh, we need a republic. No, you girls know because you've heard me talk about it on Francis' channel. When I went out, and I came out because I needed to. I haven't been to any of the other royal visits, which were
Mm.
sensational because the next royal visit after the Duke of Cornwall slash York was the Queen and Philip, right? Because
Mm.
that was
Mm.
in 1901.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
a long
Queen
time
and
ago.
Philip, they were in 1954, right? The year
Mm.
before I
Mm.
was born. And they're sitting there in the Parliament looking magnificent.
Mm.
But, you know, when I came out for Charles last year, because he'd been diagnosed with cancer.
And so,
I wasn't looking forward to his reign. And, you know, this year I'm reminded why I wasn't looking forward to it. But
yeah,
he's the monarch, you know,
you've
and
got to support, isn't it?
yeah, we
Mm.
stick
Mm.
with it, right? Because
Mm.
things change, and
Mm.
it's a system I support. It's a system of constitutional monarchy, right?
Mm.
But I'm telling you, of course the crowds weren't as big. My son brought that up. I said, of course they weren't as big as they used to be with Elizabeth and Philip. They were the ultimate royal power couple.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
they
Mhm.
were.
remember, it's because of
Yeah.
Philip.
Mm.
They broadcast her coronation. It's because of Philip that she broadcast all her speeches to the nation. You know,
Mm.
he was the one, and then it was called misjudged, but they did that biography, and he's doing a barbecue, and it was called a bit of a misstep. But the point I'm making, he was really visionary, you know.
Mm.
But when I came out last year and I saw the crowds, oh my gosh, everyone was so excited. There were quiet murmurings because I did I took the pulse of the nation. So
Yeah.
I spoke to a lot of people, and there were quiet reservations, not just about Charles, but about William as well. People are unsettled. They're not
Mm.
feeling as secure and sure-footed
Mm.
as we were under Elizabeth, right? But
Mm.
I'm telling you, Australia's good. Even despite the changes, which is to be expected, it's good. And I'm going
Mm.
to do a video about this because I love that painting. It
Mm.
took Tom Roberts, he's a famous Australian painter, it took him 2 years to do it. And
Mm.
he's got and he went, you know what he did? He took photos, he sat down and took sketches of all the dignitaries and um, entrepreneurs and labourers that were attending. He took photos, then he took sketches. He set them all down, and other artists did the same because there's a couple of works that are called the big work. And
Mm.
I'm telling you, the detail in this, and you just look into this. It's the lights coming down from the ceiling. It almost gives this Tom Roberts work a feeling of a Rembrandt. Oh
Mm.
my God. So, Canberra, very organized city. It's nothing like the ramshackle Sydney. Sydney is a very different, has more color and texture
Mm.
than Canberra. Um,
Mm.
but I love Canberra and I love the history. It's in everything. I'm telling you, all the government buildings have tried to erase colonialism because they're all just awful, ghastly, postmodern cement blocks.
Mm.
But
Mm.
the first government house, the parliament, is still standing and it is absolutely a jewel. And
Love.
there are a lot of buildings like that around in Canberra. They're jewels. And you
Mm.
know why they stand out? Because they've tried to erase it. The more you try to erase something, the more it glows.
It does
Mm.
absolutely. What a fantastic
I'm glad
back
he had a good time.
in it. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
lovely. I saw those video
Stuff
clips.
you monarchists.
Mm.
Yeah, you sent me those video clips,
Anti-monarchists, I mean.
and
Mhm.
I loved them. I really did.
Did
Funny,
you?
it's very hard to actually think that Canberra is the capital of Australia because we are used to either Melbourne or Sydney.
I
They are
thought it
very
was Sydney.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
That's what I thought.
no, it's actually Canberra is the capital, but Sydney
Oh.
Sydney is a de facto. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Mm.
It's unusual, but Sydney was where the first I was going to say troop as in tripping the colour. The first settlers landed in Sydney, but the
Mm,
seat of government, and it is technically the capital,
Oh my
but
God.
that's why
I don't
you've
like
got
this.
similar to what you've got in the United States. You've got competition, you know,
Mm.
but with the state governments, each state has a government,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of competition between Melbourne and Victoria
Mm.
because Victoria believes they're really entitled to
mm,
the seat of government because you can see why. I understand now why, because they had to open the parliament, which was in Canberra, they had to open it in Victoria. So
mm,
that's why Victorians have got this entitlement in terms of if there's ever going to be um, a prime minister, it has to come from Victoria. But
mm.
we've had a few come from Sydney. Sorry, Victoria.
Yeah.
So Sydney is considered a capital, broadly speaking, but the real capital is Canberra.
Where all the government instruments are,
Yes.
parliament and all of that,
Yeah.
yeah. So when King Charles visited Australia a few months ago, did he travel down to Canberra to address
Oh,
the...
absolutely. He addressed
Yeah,
the
he did.
parliament. Yeah, he
Yeah,
went there before he went anywhere else.
yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you
It's,
remember the, I don't know if you saw it, a llama
mm,
spat at him. Because they had some animals, from out in the, outer regions of Canberra, and there was a llama in the crowd,
mm, mm.
and it spat at the king. That was in
Oh
Canberra.
God,
Yeah.
that's funny.
That was, it was
What was his
hilarious.
reaction? I didn't see that.
Oh, he laughed.
Yeah.
Good sense of humor, Charles. He just laughed. So, before the king went anywhere else, he did it because he landed in Sydney,
Mm,
but he did a very, very brief touchdown because he had to rest. And they stayed in Government House and they did Government House in Sydney, and they did a brief photo call on the grounds of Government House. But then as soon as they were arrested, they were off to Canberra.
mm, mm.
Mm.
I'm telling you, you've just told us that Queen Elizabeth's portraits have all disappeared because they used to place them at train stations, major airports as you exit the airports. But you showed me the coat of arms that are on every station, and there is no sight
No.
of either the king or the queen
Why
anymore.
is that? That's why.
And
Why do you think
yeah,
that, Francis?
Because
hmm,
at this stage we have a government that is pro-republic, and they're always trying to get rid of the monarchy.
Hmm.
But the polls after the King's visit were very strong, and I'm telling you, and you know this, Francis, because you see the anti-monarchists at the big
Oh, the
marquee
Not My
events, right?
King movement? That's the
yeah,
Not My
Yeah.
King movement.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh
mm,
my God, it was so pathetic.
mm,
They couldn't organise a piss up in a pub, There was so
She's so funny.
few of them. Oh,
That's funny.
I just said, oh, are you like the spokespeople or something? And they said, no, we're with the anti-monarchists. I said, but where is everyone? And they said,
mm.
piss off.
They said that to you?
Yeah, they said, because they knew I was taking the
Yeah.
mickey out of them, right? And one of them goes, piss off. Because, I had my flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But
a stirrer.
yeah, yeah. But I think the other reason could also be because King Charles wasn't very popular in Australia. We know that, and so
Why
obviously
is that? Why
his
is that,
reign was
Francis?
well. King Charles's past.
Okay.
Princess
Yeah.
Diana and
Yeah.
Camilla and all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff surrounding
Okay.
him, yeah, which he has had to overcome over
Mm-hmm.
time. So he's actually starting to get back into people's sympathies, good spirits,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But in the very beginning, before even coming onto the reign, we already saw some bit of challenges that were going to be coming down his way. But as time goes on as well, we have seen these anti-monarchist forces grow and grow. And of course, if a king comes in who is known as very popular, these forces are going to gain even a much higher ground, isn't it?
Mm.
So
Well, the Queen was a hard act to follow, wasn't she, Francis?
yeah, but the Queen was very, loved in Australia. People hold on to those great memories of her, visiting Australia in those very initial stages of her reign, and
Mm.
she had a very, very good relationship with Australia, Queen Elizabeth, and so everybody respected her in that country so much, to the fact that they put her face on the money in Australia, the coins. And so with her, of course, going away, she left us. Uh, there was always going to be a matter of time when we start to see things change. But maybe we could see maybe a King William again become a bit more prominent. We could see more of those posters come back up again when William sits
Well,
on the
Francis,
throne.
I have something to say about William. I think because he's younger,
Mm,
that
mm.
people can relate to him more than Charles. I know it sounds mean because your age is called being ageist,
Yeah,
against someone because they're older. But
yeah,
I'm saying the younger generation,
yeah.
they maybe they
Relate.
see William more, they can relate to
Mm,
him
mm.
because him and Catherine are very popular.
You make
Yeah.
a good point there, Aspi, because actually Queen Elizabeth came onto the throne at the age of 25.
25, yeah.
So she was
Mhm.
also very young at the time as well. And so King Charles comes on at the age of 73, 73,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, you make a very good point here that sometimes it comes with part of the energies someone
Yeah.
brings, whether their symbol there is gonna exude those positive energies. But William and Catherine obviously are going to bring in a whole set of energies. Now we don't know at
Plus they
what.
have young children too. So
Yeah, they have young too.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
I think
yes.
I
But
think George just turned 12. I think he just turned 12 years old this
mm,
past week. I think George turned 12.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Prince George
Mhm.
did just celebrated his birthday. He's very strong. Actually, Prince George is now becoming the second most popular,
He's like a preteen now. Yeah.
Yes, very popular, Prince George. He was trending since last week. His name
Mm.
is literally on Google, on internet, everywhere. Prince George is even more trending than Catherine, Princess of Wales now.
When the kids are
Right.
like teenagers, like 16,
So,
17, they'll be
yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
They'll be very
And the way
popular.
they've trained him up into this young, responsible boy growing up. You
Yeah.
see him turning up at events wearing this
Hmm.
suit and tie, come rain or shine. He's
Yeah.
determined to embody the principles of professionalism at such a young age. This is so beautiful to see. So they dressed him like that, turning up
Hmm.
for the games, the tennis games at Wimbledon. It was
Yeah.
scorching hot,
Or was it?
That
Okay.
he was in there. Although at times he showed elements of it's too hot, but
Hmm.
he still turned up looking absolutely smart, no mourning, no
Hmm.
uneasiness. I think he's going to be a very, very professional young man. I think he's going to
Well, he
take
has the best.
that
His parents. His parents
principle.
are such good role models with
Yeah.
that.
But Stedman, just to ask you, because obviously Stedman comes in from Texas, which is because I know New York is where all the royals sometimes come. Meghan and
Yeah.
Harry are living not far away from New York. William and Catherine came to New York the other day.
Hmm.
Texas is quite far away. What's the mood like in Texas with regards to how people around where you live perceive the royal family?
They love the royal family. I believe Catherine and William came to the Houston Livestock Show.
Mm,
I can remember the year they visited, but
mm,
because I'm in my own little world, but they did come and visit the Houston Livestock Show, which is very popular here in Texas, more
mm,
than it is the one in Dallas and Austin and all of that, you know.
mm,
But everybody loves the world. The one thing that we did not like is when Meghan showed up in
mm,
Uvalde.
Oh, that's right.
mm.
Yeah.
Us, for us, that was a slap in the face because we do have famous people here in Texas, like
Mm.
Matthew McConaughey, and that's one of them.
Mm.
Woody Harrison and all of that, Tommy Lee Jones and all of those. They don't come out there, but our most famous one is George Strait. He's a singer,
Mm.
and
Okay.
um, but it was awful to have her there and have her taking pictures. and bringing her whole crew out there. Sorry. And then, but there is one sugar there in Uvalde, and she went back to celebrate, a birthday and all of that. And he's one of those that, like my cousin, she lives in Uvalde, and she's constantly having fights with him because she loves Catherine and William. And and she flat out told me, she goes, I really think he's getting paid because they didn't have nothing, and now they're having money.
This is why they're
But
going broke.
yeah,
Well, you've got
but
Promise here in the comments section. Promise Rhodes. She's one of our good followers on Francis Page Media. I don't know if you have access to the comments section there, but she is saying she's also from Texas. Got upset too, so she can relate with what.
yeah, I mean, Texas is so family oriented. Texas has a model. It, and we believe, we're big time in our state. We believe in family, with God. We don't like people from California coming over here and just trying to take over Texas. If
Yeah.
it's like we're our
really
own little
awful.
country. We are our little country, and a lot of people says, which I'm not for sure, but I don't think Texas can annex, like we can get away from the United States. We are the number one who our military, is number one here. When you see kids signing up for the military, you're going to see a lot of kids, young men and women from Texas. We're
Well, I
number
don't know
one
if
on
I
that.
told you, Stepman. I went to Texas, like me, and my mom, like around 3 years back.
Hmm.
Wonderful people, very friendly, down to earth. So what you're saying is absolutely true. I've seen it myself.
Yeah, and
So
you know,
lovely
and
people.
I mean, but people in Texas, from the people that I know in my town, because it is a small town here. I live in South Texas, in between Laredo and Brownsville.
Oh, Laredo and
We
Brownsville.
love,
Okay.
yeah, we love the royal family. Whenever I go drink coffees in the morning, because Catherine knows I get up early in the morning to talk to my kids, because one of them is in South Korea and the other one is in Alaska, and I'm messaging either Catherine or commenting on her stuff or messaging
I
you,
know.
Francis.
This girl does. She doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
I don't sleep. I only get 2 hours of sleep and that's it. And it's because I have so many things going on. But we have a little group, my friends and I wish they were all here, but we're all doing our stuff, like going, and they borrow my trailers to take donations to towns around Kirkville because of the flood. And we just, it makes us so mad.
You
You
need to
know,
touch base with Promise because she's asking where in Texas. Where in Texas
I live
is
I
our
live in Zapata, Texas, and it has the most famous lake, Falcon Lake here. I'm only, if I could move right now, and I don't want to move because I just got off my horse before I came on the live, and I'm too comfortable. I can see uh, Mexico. So next time we have a live, I'll do it outside. I'll go stand
and you
outside
show
so I
us.
can show you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're not far away from the border of Mexico
Yes.
and United States.
No, I'm not that far. No,
Oh,
I'm between Laredo, then it's Zapata. Zapata spells
Oh no, Zapata. Yeah,
Zapata.
Zapata.
Yeah,
I've heard of
and
it.
Roma, Rio Grande, McAllen, and all of that. This is where I'm at.
Okay.
yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
we're
So
called
Promise.
the armpits of Texas.
All right. So Promise says she's from Dallas, near Dallas, Texas. I
I
tell you
have
what.
family in Dallas.
Every
Yes, it's
time
not
I
that
read
far.
this, every time I read this Dallas, I hear Dallas, Texas. It
Yes,
reminds me of
Dallas is
John
about,
F. Kennedy. Was he shot around there in Dallas,
yeah.
Texas?
Yeah,
Reminds
Yes. Yeah.
Dallas is about 4 or 5 hours. Well, San Antonio is about 4 hours from here.
Okay. So it's
So
huge.
Dallas is not that far. No, if if when I went to Kentucky to go visit one of my sons that's stationed there, the
Mm.
oldest, um, it took me a whole day to get out of Texas because
Wow.
it's 18-hour drive. I drove from here to Houston, Texarkana, then I had to drive, all these little small towns going through back roads and everything.
So it
But
might
yeah.
be much farther to drive to fly from to fly from New York to Texas than it is from United Kingdom to Texas.
Hmm. Yeah,
Wow. Looking at
Texas,
it in that sense, it shows
I
how
know.
big these
I
countries
think
are.
it was around a 5 hour flight, 5.5 hours from New York.
I'd rather drive. I mean, I'm sorry. I have been to New York. I have been to Michigan. And I have traveled, and I
Yeah.
love to drive. I don't like to fly. If I have to, I will,
Oh,
but
Mm.
I
yeah.
don't. But once I get there, I'd rather come home because I'm like, when I went to Texas, let me tell you what happened. I did fly once with my ex-husband, and the company he worked for, they rented us a limousine. So we got in. My husband being, an ex-bull rider, he's dressed, with his cowboy boots, starched jeans, and everything, cowboy hat. And we get out of the limousine. Everybody's looking at us. They're looking at us because here we are, dressed, to the nines, and had our cowboy hats and everything, our suitcases,
I love it.
our leather. They were like, the doorman was like, are y'all somebody's famous? I'm like, no, my husband works for Coke Industries, not the
Yeah.
Coke you drink. It's an oil company. And they were like, oh, okay. I said, why? He goes, no, because everyone's asking. I said, oh, yeah, I'm Sue Ellen from Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't look nothing like Sue Ellen from the show Dallas. But
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I just thought I'd make people laugh. And I was like, no. I said, we're just ordinary people. But I did like New York. You get faster walking than you do driving. And I'm
Mm.
Well,
bringing
like
that up
taking the subway
because
too.
Yeah. But it's the
I
traffic in New York, isn't it? Too much
yeah,
traffic in New
too
York.
It's
much traffic.
horrible.
I
It's
don't know
awful.
how Megan. I don't know
It's
how. I'm
awful
sorry, y'all. I don't know how Megan and Harry were chased
In
because
that
I
because
traffic,
it's
keep.
in that
BS. That's
traffic.
why.
Yeah, actually, thank you for bringing that up
Total nonsense.
because, yeah, because I was about to bring that up. That how did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry claim that
It's
there
I
is
don't
actually
fabricated.
know. I
madness
don't
It's
in the
know.
look. I'm
market?
from New York. It's fabricated. Completely fabricated.
It is. I
It's
mean, I went
nonsense.
there. When I went there, I was like, I'd rather walk than take a cab or the limo because you're in traffic and you can't
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
You're bumper to bumper. So I told my ex-husband, I said, you know what? Let's just walk. And he goes, oh no, I'm going. I said, okay. I got there before he did.
I don't believe a word of what they said about being
Yeah,
chased. I don't
yeah,
believe
No,
it at all.
no,
no,
I
It's
Ridiculous.
didn't.
total nonsense.
I
No,
think they
I
just
didn't believe it either.
yeah. But so ask me, how do you move around New York? Do you jump on the train
Well, like
mostly?
for work, because there's not really a lot of traffic. I start like 5 a.m. in the morning. I
Mm,
drive to work.
mm,
It's not really a lot of traffic. Going home,
mm,
it could take me like up to an hour. But if
mm,
I go to Manhattan, I will never drive. I will either take the express bus or
mm,
I'll take an Uber. I just don't want to deal with it.
mm.
But
So
now with
No.
the subway lately with safety, I just don't even bother.
yeah, yeah. And I was looking at Catherine's, videos you posted earlier when you're in Canberra, and I barely saw no traffic on the roads.
No,
Like,
no,
where are the
no.
cars? I
Well,
was literally counting one, two. I said Land Cruiser coming through, three. And I said, okay. So these cities
well,
are
it was
traffic free.
Sunday. It
Mm.
was Sunday, but I will say I arrived midday Friday, so it's a work day.
Mm,
And because the streets are so wide,
mm,
see, Sydney's a little bit like New York in its sensibility, although New York is built on a grid. Sydney's
mm,
not, it's a little more ramshackle. But what
mm,
I mean by that, it's more congested. But
mm,
because you've got all those wide streets in Canberra, I arrive on a Friday and like we're just cruising, we're just going, like we had the whole road. And
mm,
I
mm,
said that to, I got an Uber. I said that to the driver. He goes, "Oh, it's like this all the time." And
mm,
I asked him about peak hour. He said, "No, it's not." He said, "Look, yeah." I asked where I was from. He goes, "Oh, it's nothing like Sydney, because Sydney can be a little bit like New York."
mm,
See, I live on the northern beaches and we don't have a rail line. We
mm,
have a double decker B line, and it's a big yellow bus. And getting across the harbour, getting across, then you got to get through Military Road, which is just really narrow, like New York. And
mm,
then you get through Military Road, then you've got to get over the Spit Bridge. You just feel like you're constantly being squeezed through a sausage machine, you know. So, and once you get through the Spit Bridge, which is really pretty down there,
mm,
it's gorgeous because you're going over and you all these multi-million-dollar mansions up on the cliffs and
Mm.
just amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous down there. But once you get past the Spit, then I feel like I'm on my way home. But it's a long
mm,
trip. It's a long trip
mm.
from
Well,
Sydney.
Francis, how is the trip for London with you when you like go to work and you know it's I'm sure it's like a trip and a half.
La- yeah, well, London is pretty much like New York in terms of
Mm-hmm.
traffic, but what they have done actually is to increase fares for
They
getting
did
into.
that to New York too.
Yeah, so if you're
Yeah, they've done that
driving in
too.
there, they've got what they
Mm-hmm.
call emissions charge. So your vehicle
Congestion fee.
has,
Yeah.
yeah, your vehicle has to meet those emissions categories. So it must be at least newer than 3 years, and it must be, you must pay congestion charge, which is
Mm-hmm.
£12 a day. So those little price tags that are placed
Wow.
on getting onto London have somehow managed to limit the number of vehicles getting into London. But the good thing with London is that you can get to any city, any part of the city by train. So the underground system is actually well established. So I prefer going on train than
Yeah.
driving there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only if you live on the outskirts of the city, then driving is okay. No
Mm-hmm.
emissions charge because the charges are placed in the center of London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like New York. Yeah.
like New York, yes.
Yeah,
But
they
I've
just started this like downtown
mm,
congestion fee from
mm,
certain times.
mm,
I don't remember it offhand, but you have to pay like it depends. A car pays less than let's say a
yeah,
truck kind
yeah.
of thing, but people are complaining. Like if you're a truck driver, you're
Mm,
spending almost four to $500
mm.
extra a month
Oh
with
wow.
that congestion charge. Yeah.
So that's
I don't
just
I don't
basic.
think we have that in Texas at all.
No,
Yeah.
you
I
don't.
might
You
be
don't.
wrong. I don't.
So
Man,
Texas
because if
is a
that was
free
it,
ride.
then I would be in big trouble.
So if you have a small business, it's costing you big time.
I'm
Yeah.
always in my F-250, my Ford, and it's a
Okay.
dually.
Is that the
Yeah.
SUV, big ones?
No,
SUV.
it's a big truck because
Okay.
Oh, I love
Okay.
I
it.
have to carry my I have to pull my trailers, my gooseneck trailers
Yeah.
with it, for my either my horses or my cattle,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
I would.
Hold
I
on one
mean,
second, guys. One moment.
Mm.
My dog. 1 second. Sorry.
All right. Okay.
I
Hi,
would have to.
Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. We've forgotten all about our audience. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you. We appreciate you stopping over to listen to this Royal Natter here. We are
So
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 I
glad.
want to
Yeah.
in,
ask.
in
I want to ask
Texas,
something. Huh? I'm sorry,
In
Catherine.
Texas, Stedman, because of the Uvalde stunt,
Mm.
how do most Texans or the average Texans, how do they view Harry and Meghan then? Because that was pretty vulgar.
Well, I can only speak for myself and my friends that I hang around with,
Okay.
you know. Uh, and I have been with other people whenever we have little gets together. I
Yeah.
do start bringing up stuff about more about Harry because of the way he's meddling into our First Amendment, freedom of speech, and
Absolutely.
other
Yep.
things, and I don't like that. And of
I hate
course,
it.
people in Texas, they haven't gotten a really good whiff. Only
Mm.
like us and the people that are in the comment section that we know about them. But once they find out, I mean, they're not gonna like it one bit. We did not
Mhm.
appreciate, like I said, a lot of people, because I do have family in Uvalde. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want them getting harassed. I do have family in Uvalde.
Hmm.
Megan did not do anything other than bring a couple of bags of chips that
Mm.
were from Costco,
Mm.
and she just was there. She didn't do nothing. It was just like a photo op.
Mm.
That's
I went the
disgusting.
I went the next day because I did, you know, have a family close friend who, you know, was in the school when all that happened, and he
Oh, I'm
did
so
not make it.
sorry. I'm sorry.
So
Mm. Oh.
uh, they, she did try to talk to some of the parents, but it was not the time.
Hmm.
Mm.
They did not like it because she had all these cameras around her, and
Yeah, and they chased
yeah,
people actually away from the vicinity because Meghan
hmm
Markle coming with her crew. We
yes,
knew we wanted photographs and stuff to put on our website,
yes,
actually show the world, that she's doing something about it. She traveled
hmm
200 miles, we are told, 200 miles from, where they live in Montecito to get to, where these events were. And, all these places she drove through to get to you also had issues going. Why didn't she extend her support, or at least
hmm
issue a statement via their actual foundation to say that they are extending their sincere, heartfelt, message
yeah,
to everybody
hmm
caught up in these incidences, rather than turning up few photographs and
hmm
pretend to be interviewed. Most of all of these people she was hugging were actually members of her crew, known to
yeah,
locals. Everything
Hmm.
was acted. She's always acting, isn't it?
yeah,
Taking
and it,
advantage.
and it's and when that happened in Uvalde, and I'm sorry, Francis, for cutting you off. When that happened in Uvalde, it people didn't was they were not ready for that, for her to be there and bring cameras.
Mm,
Matthew McConaughey and his family, some of his family was there because he's from there. He was
mm,
born there.
mm,
So, but you didn't see him with cameras. You didn't
mm,
see him when trying to get attention.
mm,
No, he was there and he did donate it and he did give out. He did go out and talk to people and he told the news people stay away. This is
Oh, I
not the
didn't know
time.
that. I didn't know that. Good
Yeah,
for him. Good
Oh,
for him.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Good
And
for him.
Megan, she got off, and these comes from, not only my family that saw her, but friends, when we all got together the following day when I got there, and they said, she was just came out of her SUV with cameras, everything, flashlights, taking pictures. That's not
yeah.
right. If she
Mm,
wants to help people out, then you stay in California over there. We don't need you over here. We take care of our own.
Hmm.
mm,
Go to
mm,
California. You say you're over here, you want to help out with your charities. Okay, y'all have plenty of homeless people over there. Start taking care of your people over there. And when I mean your
Hmm.
people, I mean like people from California.
mm, mm,
Texas, you know, Texas, we're very proud. We take care of our own, you
Mhm.
know. And
But it sent out a good
whenever,
message from
huh?
Texas. Everybody sent out a very strong message from Texas that they were not impressed with her presence there. And Promise in the comments here agrees with you
Mm.
100% that
No,
she didn't do anything turning up with a few boxes
no,
in.
she didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's kind of like our governor, you know, Abbott.
It,
He right away, whenever the disaster with the floods and all of that in Kerrville and Hunt and all of that, he made sure he told, in case any celebrities came along, y'all need to stay away. You
mm,
know, let everyone else, you know, help out. You
it's
know.
such a shame, really, really, because they, they had so much potential to, make a difference when situations
Mhm.
like these arise.
Mm.
They were going to, if they were genuinely invested in
Mm,
people
mm.
rather than them
But
wanting
now,
to get business and seeing opportunities in every hardship that happens everywhere. Look how she picked up that gift. Was it a box of something that was sent to this little girl? Their house was all hinged in fire, and
mhm.
including something precious that had been sent to this little girl as a gift. And see how she used that in her Instagram to get
Uh
like
huh.
Oh, the Billie Eilish thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
which is
And the only
really.
reason she got that is thanks to Prince Harry because he's the one that knows him. She
Mhm.
didn't do nothing, you know. And
Yes.
this is, I mean, this is according to a YouTuber. You know who I'm always sending you
Oh
YouTube
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
it's true.
yeah.
You know,
Neil, you're talking about Neil Sean, isn't it?
Neil Sean. Yes.
Yeah, he knows their tricks inside out.
He does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really does. Thank you for
Yeah.
always highlighting some of those stories.
But you know
'Cause-
what,
Mhm.
Francis? I would like to interject. When 9/11 happened, the
mm,
Queen was so dignified,
mm,
saying
Mhm.
her condolences. I remember the when they have changing of the guard, the bands that
mm-hmm.
they had. I think they did like "God Bless America," or the
Yeah,
Star Spangled Banner,
Yeah.
one of the two.
yeah, yeah. And we had the
It was
United
very
Yeah.
States
dignified.
flag displayed in Buckingham
Mhm.
Palace
Yeah.
rally events. So, but the Queen has always done things more gracefully, you
Mm-hmm.
know, more meaningfully than Meghan Markle, who and Prince Harry, who always have an agenda. Well, that's
Yes.
how it looks like. There is always an agenda behind why they are getting so invested in certain things. And they always want to appear in the headlines. So where the cameras are, they will
Mm-hmm.
try and fight hard to be there. Okay.
Mhm.
Now there is this
Absolutely.
story trending, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Uh, Meghan Markle apparently planning a return to the UK because
Oh
she has
God.
already
Oh,
told the world. she's
y'all can
always
keep her
told,
over there.
yeah, she's always told the world she will never come to the UK. They mistreated her. She will never set foot on grounds here. But she's starting to get a change of heart apparently.
Mm-mm.
No, because the money's running out, Francis. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah. But
the
also
money's
she
running out.
knows she knows Prince Harry's, Victor's games, which are coming up in 2027. They are going to be held up here in Birmingham, not far away from where I live actually. So I will try and go and get the feel of how people will
Mm.
perceive Harry and Meghan on the day. I hope I do a live stream there so you can get to see. But she's scheming on coming for the Invictus Games 2027 because she knows, the cameras will again be here. That season will be for Harry to be on the front pages, and she would like to steal the spotlight of those wounded young men and women. Remember, she walked in front of them last time it was held.
Oh my God. Her and her
Yeah,
chicken legs.
yeah, yeah. Remember when she
She's
walked in?
so embarrassing.
So she's planning a comeback like that, in Birmingham. So
Oh
for
God.
her, she has to start her groundwork now to prepare for her return in 2027 because she knows she's
Well,
so badly perceived here. But do you think?
I have lots of thoughts
She
on
can
that.
ever be accepted. Yeah,
Well,
it is as
It,
bad as it is.
if
You
she
know,
comes,
in
it's
terms of
because
here. Mm.
if she comes, it's because the people there that are getting everything ready for the Invictus Games, they want the King, they want Prince William and Princess Catherine, and they also want David Beckham there.
Mm.
hmm
good point.
Mm.
Yeah. Now David Beckham, Sean said he's willing to do it and let bygones be bygones, but he does
Mm.
want an apology.
Mm. Mm.
So I mean, it's kind of like, okay, that if Catherine and William, say yes,
Yeah,
she's gonna want to upstage them.
to be to upstate them, but I
hmm
don't even think William and Catherine and the King will say yes to coming down there because allegedly he already sent an email invitation to the
hmm
King to be present at the Invictus Games. And so the royal family hasn't apparently responded to that invitation. So they are
Francis, but why would they even,
thinking about, yeah?
I'm just thinking of all these things. Harry just sued his father's own government.
Yeah.
All right. And now
hmm
he wants to play nice and ask his father and family to come to evict us. I
That
mean,
is
Yeah.
the hurry. That is the hurry. Everybody is already
and as for Meghan, the people in the UK still remember how she disrespected the Queen,
The
the
Queen.
Queen.
Prince
Yeah.
Philip, with her
Yeah.
fake curtsy, making their lives a misery the past 2 years of their life,
Mm-hmm.
slagging off the royal family, that horrible book. He talked about his brother, his father, the king, his whole family. They haven't forgotten that. The people of the UK, they
They
will
haven't.
remember that.
They haven't. And this is the problem for Harry and Meghan because they think the world has moved on. They think it's as
hmm
easy as, okay, so you can come back, everything is finished, it's forgotten. You now come back and do what you want. They are not
hmm
actually taking that time to reflect upon the issues and the problems and the heartache that they have caused over the years. Okay, they haven't thought
But
about.
Francis, when you're narcissistic, they don't have insight
No,
with
Mm,
no.
mm,
pain and suffering they've caused for their family and people in general.
Yeah.
mm,
Remember the staff, like the staff that both of them bullied in the
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
palace.
hmm
The people in the UK, they will not forget that.
They
No.
won't.
I'll
They
tell.
won't.
Catherine, you always talk about that narcissistic behavior, and I like that Aspian and Stedman actually highlight that as well. People who are narcissistic they'll never see ahead of them, and they always think that they are the ones that are
They play
right.
victim all the time,
Mhm.
and it's so tiring. It's so boring.
Well,
It's
I have
mhm,
I have commented with Catherine. Remember, Catherine? It was a while back about my mother being a narcissistic,
Mm,
and I
Mm,
told you in a comment about everything. She loved the attention.
mm,
mm.
She
mm,
loved the attention. She didn't care if she got good or bad, negative.
mm,
It was all good to her as long as she was the center of attention. It took my dad a while, and I felt bad for him because after he finally had enough of her, 2 years later, he passed away,
oh,
I'm
and
sorry.
sorry.
she didn't care. She
Mm,
was like, "Oh, well, what did he left me?" I was like,
mm,
"Oh my God, woman." But
yeah,
they don't care. They don't have no
They don't.
feelings. They don't. They
they
don't
don't.
care. They
Yeah,
will isolate. She isolated me from my brothers, my sisters. She did it with my dad. My dad at the last minute,
mm,
had my older sister call me so I could go see him on his deathbed, and he apologized to me.
they don't care.
And but
Well,
Megan is no, they don't. Megan is exactly like my
Hmm.
mother. She just doesn't care. She doesn't.
yeah,
And
because
using the
She can
children
flirt.
as,
mm,
you're not going to see the children unless I get my way.
hmm
That's just
yeah,
so horrible.
Yeah,
Exactly. Look
yeah.
at Harry.
Or she'll flirt. They'll
Harry
they'll flirt with
released,
other men.
Harry released
Hmm.
that book uh, just days after Queen Elizabeth had passed away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty shocking.
we all
Yeah.
thought he was going to take a moment to reflect upon
Mm,
the misery and the big problem that releasing a book just after the Queen has passed away would
mm,
Yeah.
cause. She didn't think about all of that. She released the book, and this book was downing on the royal
mm,
family, on the legacy that the Queen had, left
Hmm.
behind, and just looked as though he wanted to dismantle every little bit of it that had remained after the Queen had passed on.
Well, that
So
documentary too was awful. That
the
documentary they did
documentary,
on metrics.
Yeah.
yeah,
But see,
yeah,
it's not. I'm not trying to take up for Harry or anything. Really, Megan made him, what he is. His true colors started coming out because he had that
mm,
all buried in there. And I
mm,
tell you this because my brother, the same way with my mother, she brought up the meanness in him.
um,
And when you have a person that is
All
constantly
right,
in your
Oscar.
head and just picking and putting all these things in your head, you're going to believe all those things. You're
uh,
going to say, yeah, you're right. I never saw it that way. And the more you're there, you're going to become just like them. You're going to become a narcissistic where you're not going to care about who you hurt,
Hmm.
you know?
and she succeeded in taking him away from his family into this
Hmm.
small corner there where she can then feed him
Hmm.
all the narratives constantly, day and night, without
Hmm.
anybody actually whispering in
mm,
Harry's
And
ears
not
to
only do you have her, you have her mother.
Hmm.
So
mm,
it's like, they were just like he was like a puppet. So you
mm,
have Megan and her mother because they're both alike.
mm,
But I think
That's
Harry has both narcissistic and
yes.
empathetic traits,
Hmm.
and being with Meghan 24/7, just around all the
It
time,
came
just
out.
brings out the worst. He's
Yeah,
mm.
always been
it came
jealous
out.
of his brother, for example, but
Yeah.
he
Hmm.
kind of hid it. And
Yeah.
then, like with her on the scene, marrying her,
He
it's all come out.
he
Mm.
just needed someone to
Just to
bring it out
switch
of
that
him.
button on, yeah. Just to
Yeah.
switch the light on.
Because I'll tell you what, if I knew that they were coming to Texas anytime soon, I would get a whole bunch of my cow patty, which is cow poop, and I would go over there. And I don't care if I go to jail. I would start swinging it at them, just you know, because I don't like them. And if I knew they were, for Invictus, I'll load up
Mm.
a whole bunch of suitcases of that cow patty
mm.
and go over there. Hey, put me in jail because
Yeah.
I don't like them because of the way they are. You know,
Mm.
they're no good.
But as time goes on, I think, and we have always talked about this, Catherine. We said that time is running out for both of them to resolve these issues. And when I say resolving these issues, we don't say come back, plead, come and get back into the royal household and work. We really mean them tabling meaningful apologies,
Mm,
Yeah.
that can be received when the king is still here, by everybody when it's not too late. Because if those apologies come later, when say we have a King William and Catherine as king and queen on the throne, it will be extremely very late that they won't
Mhm.
even listen to those.
You know what,
So
Yeah.
Francis? In all honesty, I think they're preparing them to come back. Charles wants them back. He does.
Yeah.
He does. I
I,
mean,
I
people
I
don't
think so
agree with
too.
it, but I think they're making a path for them to come back
mm,
because
mm,
Charles, it's hard to balance. I know the king duties that he's done horrible things,
mm,
but he's my son and I love him and I want to know the children, whether they are children or not. That's a whole other topic. I'm not getting into that, but he wants, he's very, like Catherine said the last life, he is sick We don't know how ill he is. We
Mm.
can't. I don't know how ill he is, but he wants them back. Even if the
I,
public doesn't like it, he
there
doesn't care.
is, yeah. So this is the thing. So he might want them back, but I don't think they can come back and serve with the royal family in any meaningful way or
Oh, I
take
didn't say that they
on
were
the
going to do public
responsibility.
duties,
Yeah.
but
They just want to come back so they can get, start selling their, Megan can start selling products. She can get money and everything like that.
well, I
That's
don't
what
know
she
if she
wants.
could if she comes back because the palace has their own products. They
Mm,
have a
Yeah, but
mm.
here,
store with all
yeah,
their
but
products.
as long as she's related somehow with the royal family here in the States, anybody will open the doors for her. Right
We
now,
don't
True.
ju-
see, I think we
yeah,
cannot see a William who is going to allow these to be anywhere close to his family.
No.
That
no,
is for sure. And allegedly, it was William who apparently orchestrated that move to get them out of Frogmore Cottage as soon as possible,
Really? Okay.
because the Frogmore was only a stone throw away from Adelaide Cottage, where William and Catherine were living with their children. And
yeah.
they know that having a bad uncle next to their children is not going to help. Okay?
I don't believe all that because I think a lot of the stuff that goes out in the media is done by Megan and her PR team. You
Yeah.
know, so it's kind of like like, oh, Netflix fired them. No, Netflix hasn't fired them. Netflix wants Harry to do a documentary about his mother or, badmouth the RF. Still, they'll keep her on as long as Harry does something. See,
I
so
don't.
they don't want her.
But
You know,
didn't like the head. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
uh
Stephanie.
huh.
Didn't like the head of Netflix just get a knighthood from King Charles,
Yeah, the CBE.
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Yes.
CEO?
And
That
that,
Mhm.
and
te-
I'm
yeah.
telling you, my feeling is coming back to what you said, Aspie, that is how the palace do things really slowly and they do things behind the scenes in order
Mhm.
to achieve what they want. They're not, their PR, even in this day of social media, they're using social media in a very polished way to promote
Mhm.
their events. It's working for them. But when you hand out honours like that, that is how, because that guy that's got that honour is in a very difficult position now.
Mm.
That's how the king has shown his support for Harry. But
Mhm.
Harry is upset, as we saw in his BBC interview, because his father won't show him obvious support by, you know, he said, well, why can't he just step aside and let the experts take care of this? It's the most insulting thing you could say to a king. If he'd have said that back in the day, he'd have been beheaded,
Well,
right?
he's a
Oh yeah.
spiteful, spoiled little
Yeah.
brat. So what do you
Yeah.
expect? But
Yeah. He
Well,
is.
this is my. I haven't backed off. I've tempered my view a little bit from the initial release of those photos, but I believe that Harry is panicking.
Mm,
And I don't think the king would be very happy with this panic move because it seems to suggest that the king is going sooner rather than later.
mm,
Mhm.
And I don't think the palace would be happy with that because it's telegraphing that message.
mm,
And I believe the king does want him back. But the king's in an invidious position because it's not just being the father, but as a king, he has been publicly disrespected, he has been publicly maligned, and by none other than his own son, who, let's not forget, grew
mm,
up under the spectre of who his real father was.
mm,
So all
Mhm.
of this backstory that comes with Harry falls down at Charles' feet. So I believe what the palace are doing is using these moves by the Markles to play their own backstory, their own back game. I think they want him back, but they will not have Meghan. It's as
No.
simple as that. And I believe Harry is right to panic because William he's not a regent, but he's acting like a soft regent. He's performing his duties as a soft regent. He steps up into the role and he is still looking after his family in the process. But there is no way, Jobson said recently, um, he and Bauer were together, Tom Bauer, and he said no, and he's close to the king. He recently wrote a biography, and he said there's no way back for
Oh,
Harry, but
Harry.
he will meet with the king again. And he hinted in saying that, remember, they don't say everything. He's hinting, yes, the king wants him back. But both Bauer and Jobbo said, but not with Meghan. And no way, no how, as far as William is concerned. It's over. It's
Yeah.
over. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
media are trying to hint that the reason for a possible move is because the Sussexes are coming back. I don't think that at all. I think he's getting ready for his own reign.
The
Mm-hmm.
Sussexes are not coming back to the UK in any capacity of service to the royal family. That agreement that was made, the summit that was made,
Mm,
of no foot in, 1 foot out, is still very
Mm-hmm.
much a thing. And that cannot, if they break that, that would have been the highest level of
mm,
disrespect
But
to.
Francis, I want to just interject with that. I
Yes,
think Harry and Meghan may have the mindset once the Queen passed away, that Sandringham like summit
yeah.
is don't null and void to them, maybe
no,
That's
because
you're
what
right.
the
that's
Queen
what
Right,
passed.
SB.
yeah, that's
They
what they
think that it's
think.
over. That
Yeah,
doesn't
they
count.
think it's over, but
Yeah,
those
Mm-hmm.
notes, those records, all of those,
they still
details are
stand.
always sealed. They are sealed. It's not just the king who sits
But
and
they're
makes
not. But
decisions.
Francis, I just
It
think Harry
has.
and Meghan, they're
Mm,
not rule followers, though. They're not respectful with agreements like that. They think, oh, the Queen is gone. Not Prince, now he's King. King
yes.
Charles will just let
Mm.
us do as we please,
Well,
and
they can believe
you know,
that, but
Yeah.
they cannot get in.
hmm,
Trust me, we have a William who
Mm,
is very
true.
thought. He's very
Yeah.
thoughtful. He's very, very regiment when it comes to upholding those
mm,
values. And he very much knows the level of disgrace these two have brought to the royal
Hmm.
family. How
mm,
actually having them back will cause more problems for the royal family than there were ever before.
well,
So
look at what's
they
happening
can go
now,
as far
Francis.
as making up with the king, and so they can do all of that because the king is the father of Harry. He's the, he's got to forgive his son, but that is as far as they can go. But for Harry, Meghan to come back in any meaningful positions to work for the royal household or even to live anywhere near the royal household, that is out of question.
So, Francis, do you think they'll say like, oh, you divorce Meghan or you're not coming back?
So they
I
can't say that because they risk Harry going and taking them on to say they are
Hmm.
forcing him to, they are breaking up his family, his marriage.
Okay.
They know the sort of Harry they are dealing with here.
Mm.
And this is why I'm telling you that although people are saying they want Harry back but not Meghan,
Mm,
that the royal family cannot actually risk such a move because they
Mm.
mm,
know
Okay.
how it can backfire and backfire badly, that the royal family will now be seen as a home breaker.
Mm. Okay.
So
yeah.
actually, the royal family, if at all, the king is actually very supportive of those two staying where they are, being in their marriage, raising their kids for as long as they can stay in their relationship, because it's good for the monarchy for them to be there where they are right now, as long as they can keep an eye, on them. And part of this checking in of Harry, we see okay, meetings going on with people representing the king and all of that. Some of those meetings are because he needs to do a routine check in somehow because he's still a counselor of state. Okay, he's still very much someone who can stand in for the king. Not that he will, but stand in case there is something and there is nobody else there, say William or the Queen to stand in. So those routine meetings and check-ins are there somehow. But of course, Meghan and Harry are going to exploit these small meetings and make it appear to the world that hey, they are now back
Mhm.
in. Oh, they're okay.
Yep.
But these are
So,
Mhm.
Francis, what do you think then, on the basis of what you've said, and it's a strong position that you're arguing there. What are your thoughts then about the coming Invictus Games? Because he thinks he's playing tiddlywinks,
Yeah,
Harry, but he thinks
yeah.
he's checked the king and the queen, right? By having the Invictus Games and at the time when the queen turns 80. So what are your thoughts then about the Invictus Games obviously want a senior royal there, but
Yes.
there's no way that William will go to those Invictus Games because he will not give Harry those photos.
No, no. And this is it. And
And
this
he
is a
could be
Harry.
king then.
This
You
is a
don't
Harry
know.
being Harry because he knows he's entitled. He sends out those emails as if there's nothing has happened. He's somebody who, for long, allegedly has always wanted to jump protocol and he does things his own
Mm.
way. But actually, uh, the king can appoint somebody else, can appoint
Yeah.
another senior royal to attend. And this doesn't have to be Princess Anne or Prince William, but we have Princess Alexandra, we have Prince Michael of Kent, we have these other senior royals who are not usually in the limelight that the king can designate on the day and say, you know what? I can't get involved in this. I support it, but because of the situation that is there right now, the situation we all know, I don't feel I'm the right person to be there because this is going to draw another sort of headline. So the king has done that. Meghan and Harry again are very much capable of exploiting the king's presence on the Invictus Games to
Mm.
suit their narratives and say this
Because
is what.
they want the photos. They
Yeah,
want
the photos
that's all
here.
this is
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so the king
Mm.
obviously supports, the heroes or the activities of the armed forces, is very much in supportive of all of that. But this does not necessarily mean he has to say no to Harry's invitation, especially after all of this disrespect for Harry. So expect to see there a senior royal, but a royal that you don't usually see in the headlines.
That's
Mm.
great.
Yeah, and
I
it's
love
all
it.
about the photos, like you said, Catherine.
Yeah.
Kind of like when they said they had a picture of what's her name, Lilybeth, with the
I call her
Queen.
Lily. I don't hate saying
Yeah.
it like
Yeah,
that.
and
The
if you think about it, if they had that
Yeah.
picture of the Queen with
Oh,
Lilybeth,
they'll be
Megan would
flashing it
it
everywhere.
would be yes, yes.
They'll be selling
That's
baby
Yeah,
clothes. They'll
the
be
royal
selling
family,
dummies. They'll be selling diapers.
and
baby
It's
especially,
wipes.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
and especially
Yeah,
they are
Okay.
still,
Oh,
Go
it's
down.
off.
Go down.
and
yeah.
especially as they are still involved in this Netflix
Yeah.
shenanigans, where
Uh
every
huh.
photo image can now be sold off or can be drawn into a documentary, and
Come here.
so the royal
Oh,
family doesn't want to give away that opportunity to them. They
yeah.
don't deserve it. They have for long showed the world that they are not grateful of their heritage.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Yeah.
to
Oh.
take some of their kids away from seeing their grandfather for how many years? Now that it's suiting them, Meghan Markle is under this sort of desperacy to try and bring the kids back and take a photo
Mhm.
of the king and William and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they now saying the world is not as they thought it was to be for them out there. Without the royal
Mm.
family, they cannot survive in any meaningful
No.
ways. No.
No one would
Mm.
have any interest in her unless she was part of the royal family, period.
Well, she's
She's
got
just,
nothing.
she
She's
has nothing.
talentless.
Yeah.
She doesn't quite now, but she used to be quite attractive when she was in suits. Well, they have dresses, so she always looked reasonable and presentable, and she's a lousy actress, but
I never heard of
they,
her.
Neither
they
had
put her
I.
too
They
often.
Never,
both had
They
no
put
never.
her
interest.
in.
Not until I made the time. I always love watching royal weddings, on TV, everything. You'll
Yeah,
see me sitting down getting everything ready. And when they announced that Prince Harry was getting married, I was like, who is he getting married to? And they said, oh, she's a famous actress. That's what they were saying. And I'm like, okay, I know I watch a lot of movies and everything. When they said her name, I was like, what the heck? I never heard of
I
her.
never heard of her either. Never
Mm-mm.
watched the show
I
Suits.
didn't even know she was on that. What is it called? Howie Mandel show, that deal or
Oh, Deal or No Deal? Yeah.
yeah. I didn't even know she was on there. I was like, oh my god. I'm like,
well, they had to hype her up
Sorry.
because they couldn't
mhm.
have Harry looking like he was marrying a D-lister.
Yeah.
So the media had to hype it up and pump up the tires, didn't they?
Yeah. I think what I saw when I first saw her was when they did like a little small documentary of her dress, and the queen was with her, and she was showing the queen, you know, how she was including all the leaves and everything on the dress. The queen
Oh,
didn't
yeah, I
look too
remember that.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't look too happy. She was kind of like, oh, okay. And I was thinking to myself after I started Googling her, I was like, oh my God, if she can get married in white, heck, I could get married in white too, you know? Because, I mean, she should have wore red instead of white.
Yeah.
Black, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Black
not
would
the
be better.
Virgin Mary.
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I have something to ask y'all, which I had sent Francis the YouTube video of Neil Sean, where he mentions our president Donald Trump is going to be selling, uh, was it High Grove, the jam and wine and stuff like that at his golf course. He's going to do a little thing. How do y'all feel about that? And how do you think Megan's going to feel once she realizes the president's selling all of that stuff at his golf course?
Trump is hilarious, honestly. He's
He
I
such a
love
is.
Trump.
troll.
I'm sorry, Texas for Trump.
He's such a troll. I just
it's
love
funny.
it. I don't know if protocol will allow for that, but
Mm.
I get where Trump's coming from saying that because, it's like, well, I'm not buying your garbage. Trump never misses an opportunity to, put the knife in. It's hilarious.
Oh, he
I
is,
just,
but I mean, I'm sorry, he's the best president there is. I love Trump, you know, he
well,
really
I
is.
understand why you do. Well, Australians, trust me, Australians don't like him at all. Well, woke Australians, but there are a lot of people I know and that really like him. I liked him before he became a president. I thought he was hilarious. I just think this guy, and then, yeah, in his first term, he's tweeting, he's saying naughty things. Because, my parents, even though I was born in the UK, they're Irish. So I've got a really Irish sense of humor. I love stirring. And that's what Trump does. He stirs the pot, and I tell you what, it pays dividends. But will he be free to sell those products in his golf course? I don't know if those products are available outside the royal outlets. I don't know. I
I don't
honestly
know.
can't speak to it.
Yeah, I don't know, but if he does, oh my God, I wish I was a fly on the wall in Megan's house just to see.
Yeah.
how she would just all over herself. I'm not gonna say the bad word because that's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing.
no, you don't need
Yeah. Yeah. And, and
You're
he's
right,
coming.
Catherine.
He's coming here. He's coming to the UK on the 17th to the 19th of
I
September.
can't
That
wait.
should be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to
Yes.
stir the pot
Hey,
when
I
he's
might hit
there.
to me and SPR. We might hit to ride with him, kind of like Megan and Harry were trying to hit to ride with Biden. So,
Can you
so
believe it? Can you
Yeah.
believe the brass neck of that woman?
Francis,
Yeah.
with
Brass neck.
the Trump visiting the UK, how do you think the king feels about it and
Of
William?
course, King is Trump is a very loyal man to the royal
He
family
is, yeah.
and to the Queen. And he, of course, they know Trump himself is wherever he goes takes a lot of publicity with him. Okay, so that's good. That's good. But I think with the most important thing here for Trump's visit is the trade relations. We
Yes.
have United States and United Kingdom. United States is still our biggest, if not, exporter of. With this, we have so much going on in terms of business with them, and also security issues. They are our very biggest security ally.
Mm.
So he plays a very important role in this space right now. So his visit here is good for the king to see
Yes.
unifying the world, but also talking about the most important issues pressing the world right now. Uh, we don't mind Trump. We actually love the fact that whatever he says, he takes on everybody. He looks at everyone differently, but when it comes to the king and queen, you get the best Trump ever. He's very well. Look at how he was walking with Queen Elizabeth in the palace rooms when they were looking at all the jewelry, and you know he sort of mirrored he mirrored the Queen's movements and the
I
walk, and
know.
Trump, he bent down to the Queen's level and he was like this, one step at a time. He
Beautiful.
Well,
wanted to
he's
keep the
very
same.
tall.
Yeah. So
He's
yeah.
a
he's
tall man.
very respectful of the king and queen, and he adores William and Catherine to the
Yes.
core. He loves them. And anybody here who shows very openly to the world how disrespectful Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been to the royal family, of course, everybody is going to love them, you know.
Hmm.
So, and this is what Trump hasn't been scared of or whatever of portraying to the whole world. He has said it openly that I don't actually understand how this young man can leave his family, go to the United States and start slumbering everyone. And he says that's so disrespectful. Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
So
It's
yes, I
it's
think
it
it's gonna
just
be a lovely visit.
yeah.
And
I'm gonna love it. Him going over there, but me and SPI, we can fit to ride with him. Go over there.
Hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he's in
no, Air
Scotland. I
Force
think
One.
he's still there as we
We'll
speak
just
He's
right
in
now.
Scotland right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's. I think his mother was it USP
His
who gave
mother
us.
His
is from
mother.
Scotland. Yeah,
His mother.
yeah.
Yeah, he's.
She was from Scotland. She was born
Oh,
in
she's from.
Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So she's got
But
a very.
that's what I
And the
love
father is
about
of
him.
German heritage. So
Yes.
Yeah,
his father's
he,
German heritage, his mother's from
yeah,
Scotland.
he's proud of it. He's proud. He doesn't apologize about anything. He's
No,
proud of his heritage.
you know,
And I'm
No.
sick of people
It's
being
like whatever
embarrassed.
what
comes
you
out of
see is what you get with Trump,
yeah.
whether you like
Yeah.
him or not.
I
Oh
love
yeah.
him.
He doesn't put on a facade. I have to
Yeah.
give that to
Yeah.
him at least. You know,
It is.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? He says what he tells you is what he does. He said he's gonna put up that wall, on the border between uh, Mexico and is it where you live,
Oh,
St.
he
Martin,
did.
Texas, and he put the
yeah.
wall there, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Guys,
did.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to
I drive.
interrupt. I have to step away a little bit. My phone battery is dying.
Okay.
So I'll charge it a little bit, then I'll come back in.
Okay. We will soon be wrapping up. We've got about 10 minutes to go. Hopefully.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll see how long my phone lasts. So if you see me disappear, my
Yeah.
phone died.
Well, you stay
Yeah.
on and we just wrap up, you know,
Okay.
because
Now,
we don't
let
want
me
to
tell
go
you,
away. Yeah. We would miss you so much, you know.
Trump
Okay.
did build
Girls.
that wall. When
Yeah.
I drive, I see it. When I'm
You
on my
see the wall.
horse, I
Yeah.
walk right, my horse and me are right by it.
Hmm,
But yeah, he did build that wall,
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
which that's
Wow.
fine by me because I was having all sorts of trouble,
Yeah.
Mm.
and
Mm.
that's fine. And I love,
Yeah.
everybody loves Trump here in
And you
Texas.
can't blame
What's the
him.
mood towards Trump in New York, Aspie?
Mm. Mm.
I'm sorry, say that again, Catherine?
In New York, I would imagine there'd be a lot of anti-Trump
Oh, yeah, because New
sentiment.
York is a very
Yeah.
left, liberal, democratic, not all, like,
Mhm.
if, it's New York City. If you go to upstate New York,
Yep.
outside of New York, they all voted for Trump, like all the areas.
Yeah.
But since New York City has the most people, with the
Mm.
exception of Staten Island, they are
Mm.
very
Yeah.
democratic. Yeah,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
very liberal, woke, you know,
Is
left.
Staten Island more conservative?
Yes, it is. And the thing
Oh.
is, out of spite, like the mayor, not the mayor we have now, but the previous mayor, De Blasio,
Yeah.
he would punish Staten Island, for example, setting up more speed cameras on Staten Island
Mhm.
than other boroughs to be spiteful. Because I couldn't stand him, De Blasio, as a mayor. Oh my God.
I
I
love
mean,
Staten
Adams has
Island.
his issues, but
Yeah.
I'll take Adams any day over De Blasio. He was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
he
Mm.
was.
yeah, so yeah. So when Giuliani was mayor, I think more people voted because he was kind of in between. He wasn't like a Democrat, but he wasn't a diehard Republican either. So
Mm.
people
Mhm.
who kind of were in the middle, they voted for him.
Mm.
So that's why Giuliani became mayor. But that was in the
Right.
1990s. So
Right.
things are different now.
Mm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stedman, do you also have mayors? Because the New York mayor seems to be more prominent in United States.
Yeah, but it's kind of like in Houston, yes, they have a mayor,
Mm.
but I live in a town, in such a small town that we have a judge instead of a mayor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
because we're
Which,
not
which,
considered a city. We're more basically like a ranch area,
Mm.
yeah.
because this is all ranches. If you go to Laredo, they have a mayor. If you go to Brownsville and all those other ones, they do have a mayor. But small towns like ours, we have judges, and
Yeah.
yes, we get to vote for them. You know, um, this town right here, it used to be all Democrat, but then they started getting tired and they started voting Republican. It became the
Yeah.
first time,
Interesting.
and I don't
Mm.
know.
Very
I think
interesting.
like it was like 100 or something years before, you know, that it ever voted when Trump first started
Mm.
running. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mm.
our town was mentioned that for the first time in over 100 years,
Mm.
it voted all red. And this year,
Wow.
also whenever he
Yeah.
ran too, because we need the wall. We get tired of
The
so many
chaos.
bad things happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Mexico, of course, we know it's shenanigans with,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot
Next
going on
next
with the
time
ball.
we do a live, I'll show y'all. You
Please.
know.
Mm. Yeah, that'd be
You
very
I
know.
I
interesting to
love your
see.
Yeah.
accent.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
love the
mean,
Texas
Oh,
accent. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. I
yeah.
That'd
love
be
it. I
lovely.
love it.
I don't know.
Yeah, ladies.
I
Mm.
can't tell my Texas accent. I don't know.
I
No, it's
hear it.
so
I hear the
pronounced.
Yeah.
twang. Yeah.
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 Well, you and Aspi sort of have the same accent, Americans.
Yeah, but
But
I
it's
think like, for example, like New York, we instead of water, we say water, like
all
Yeah.
words
right.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like instead of garbage, we say garbage. Like
Mhm.
Okay.
it's, but
It's
that's
more
more
dry.
Brooklyn. Mine is more Brooklyn, New
Yeah.
York. You
Yeah.
can really
Yeah.
hear it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
While like
come.
Setman has more of a twang. to her
mm.
accent.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're great. I love all
Yeah.
different accents.
Right,
I do
ladies.
too.
In
Yeah.
the interest of our space battery,
Okay.
let's wrap up quickly with this question here. I know
Sure.
it's gonna be a very difficult, tricky one, but starting off with, say, Catherine, would you see Meghan and Harry back? Do you want them to, we know these conversations, they are back, they are not, they are back, they are. Would you like to see them back to?
No, no,
Mm,
obviously not. I think the problem that the royal family are going to have, and we're seeing Harry in decline now,
mm,
is watching him decline.
mm.
And that's where the test comes when, for family members, when uh, someone who's, damaged from long-term abuse of
Mm,
substance, when they're in decline is when it's the hardest for the family. So I understand the king's heartache for his son. I think Harry has put the king in a corner in terms of his demands. But if he comes back, it will not be as a working royal, but it'll be alone. And I
mm,
think it'll be to enter rehab.
mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how about you, Aspi?
Well, as an American, I would love for them to go back. I mean,
Yeah.
to get them out of here because, and I would say for this, for many reasons, but this one main reason why. Ever since he said that our First Amendment was bonkers, it's like go
Yeah.
back
Hmm.
home. We don't want you here, kind of
Oh,
No.
thing.
yes. That
Now,
hit really hard, isn't it?
yes, for an American, Stedman agrees with that. That just like I could just say four-letter words right now when I heard that, but out
Mm,
of respect for this channel, I won't. But let's say if I was a UK citizen, no, I
yeah.
would not want them back because they disrespected the late Queen and her
Mm,
husband. They're, as you British say, slagged off his father, the
mm,
government, slagged
mm,
off his brother, let the trolls
mm.
attack his sister-in-law
Sister-in-law.
when she had
Yeah.
cancer, and
Yeah.
let the sex squad and these disgusting trolls troll her and bully her relentlessly. And neither of
Hmm.
them said, "This is wrong. You guys need to stop." The
Mm,
British public, they will not, even
No.
with an apology. I don't
mm,
think the British public is like they know a spade is a spade, and they
mm.
know that they're just phony and it's not real, even if they have an apology. So
Yes,
no, I don't think they'd
absolutely.
be good back at all.
Absolutely. How about you, Stedman?
I want to keep my mouth shut because I remember I told you about my comment. They almost kicked me out of YouTube.
Mm.
Please, yeah.
I'm like,
Please
I can say a lot of four
keep
little words.
those
So can
people,
I.
please.
uh, but no, I mean,
Mm,
my mother-in-law, she's from the UK, and when when she saw that the interview before she passed away with Meghan and Harry, it was a disgrace for her.
mm,
It made her
Mm.
cry, and it made me cry for her.
Oh really? Oh.
Yes, because she was, in the Royal Air Force. I think,
Mm.
that's how her and my father-in-law met. And she said that him disrespecting the Queen and and the royal family is disrespecting her too,
Mm.
and everybody in the UK. Especially like the veterans. You
mm,
know,
Yeah.
because Harry was just, he's from England. He was born over there, so he's not
mm,
from here. I don't want him here because he's trying to change, some of our laws. You
Yep.
know,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
he's meddling into our military by
mm,
trying and going and
Mm.
speaking about mental illness. You don't have no business doing that. I don't know who gave him the power, which probably was Biden. But I wish
True.
President Trump would do something and say, look, you're not from here. If
mm,
we can do that to illegals, then we should do that to him. I don't care if he's a prince or what kind of passport he has.
Mm.
Mm.
But I don't, to me, the UK people should not take him back. They should not forgive him. They disrespected the Queen,
Yeah.
his grandfather, the whole family dragged them, through the ground, aired out their
Yeah.
dirty laundry,
Yeah.
and, it was about to happen because now you can see who Harry truly is,
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I don't think so because my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, she cried when Queen Elizabeth passed away and when
Mm.
Prince Philip
Yeah.
passed away,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
and she was like, she said, "You know what, Alma? There goes our legacy."
So
And I was like, I asked her, I said, "Why do you say that?" She said, "Because she goes, I love Charles, the king, the new king, but he does not have a backbone like his mother does."
mm,
Mm.
You
Mm.
know,
I think
she
you've
that
wrapped you've
uh-huh.
wrapped things up very well there, Stedman and Aspi, and of course, Catherine, you have all echoed what came out of that poll you did last time via your community page. I think you've
Mm.
done that poll as do you want them back or not? And
Mm.
you know, significantly, how many said no? 91%.
Yeah.
Yeah, said they
Out of
don't.
700 votes.
Yeah, said they don't
Oh,
want.
700. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
700 votes.
huge. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That is
huge.
huge.
Mm.
Exactly. So everyone is echoing your voices. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
those that want to see them back, I guarantee you, are the people who just want to feed into their
Mm.
controversy. They are the people who want to
Mm.
see, right, let's see what's going to happen
Mm.
next now that they are
Hmm.
back.
I'm
Get
sure the
ready,
press would
get your,
want them back
you
because
know.
they
Yeah.
make more headlines.
Yeah,
You know, the
yeah.
tabloid press would love for them to go back.
Yeah, because they feed off their controversies and they make headlines and all of
Yeah,
that.
they sell
But
newspapers. Yeah.
they sell newspapers, but no one here in the UK who genuinely cares about the royal family and its longevity is invested in seeing those two.
Hmm.
Nobody. So, Catherine, you're still there? We thought you had disappeared. With but yeah, I think her camera is froze. Catherine, you're there?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
your screen is cutting out, Francis.
Is mine? Is it mine? Yeah.
Yeah, your
So is it
screen.
back now?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
Oh.
I can see all of y'all now. I used to
yeah.
be able just to see SPI, and then I could just see Catherine. Then I could
Mm.
not see you, so we just,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
It's
no, I
yeah.
think it
just
was me
turning around.
interchanging.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
little
Yeah.
wheel turning around.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your
Thank
thoughts
you,
tonight.
Francis.
Yes, you guys bring a lot of life to this channel. You're very insightful. Your comments always are the ones holding this comments section. And we have lots of our friends who have been watching us tonight. Promise Roads. I'm sorry, I can't pull up the comments section. Somehow it's frozen. But we have Promise, we have Melissa, we had Foxy. That's a friend of ours now. Aspi, I think, brought Foxy onto our channel.
Hmm.
And others that have made it today, they will catch the live later on. We are sorry, we just hold it, I think, at the time, which is very difficult to balance.
I
But
guess her phone
yeah,
died.
Yes, yeah.
yeah,
There's a comment there,
Oh,
and I was just reading it in the comment section. She said her
mm,
phone died. Yeah.
yes.
oh.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's always lovely. And we are going to be setting up meetings like these
Yes.
again,
Yeah.
Mm.
Dead man, if you give us your best times so we can also try and incorporate
Hey,
that.
as long as y'all don't mind, I'm on my horse because usually I'm just working at my ranch. Like right now, after I cut off with y'all, I have to head back. I have
Mm,
to go finish up some stuff over there. I was mending fences earlier, so
Well,
uh,
thank you
What a
for
life.
giving up your time and coming
Thanks, Stedman.
to sit here with
Yeah.
us.
Thank you. No, thank you. Y'all let me know anytime, and I'll show y'all the wall next time.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, on the next live, and
that would
show
be
y'all
great.
a little bit around town.
That would be great. Like Catherine showed me around today. I really enjoyed those videos. Catherine, your time is so appreciated as well. Thank you. And we realize
Yes.
how early you have to always wake up to catch these live streams.
Oh,
So we don't take that for
I'm
granted.
awake very early. Thank you, though.
Yes. And how is your channel doing? Please, if you're not yet subscribed to Catherine's channel, please
Thank
do
you.
so. Steadman, please share Catherine's channel
Oh,
to your friends because I know you also have a good, group of friends. Please shout out Catherine's channel, Royal Australian.
Oh,
I
Franny,
Yes.
will.
thank you.
And she's
Thank
built
you.
such a magnificent community base.
Oh,
On her community pages, they are flying. Her posts are really, really picking up. Catherine, well done.
mm.
Mm,
Thank you.
well
Thank
done.
you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for everything. Thank
Right.
you for inviting me.
Okay.
I
Always.
love y'all.
Lovely to meet
This
you,
is only the
Stedman.
start. We are going to be coming back more and more and more.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Bye-bye.
okay, ladies. Bye
All
bye.
right,
Take
bye
care. Catch
everyone.
up again.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.